Hello everybody and welcome back to the Halfsun SMP server. So today we're actually starting off on a lot more of a sad note than I thought we were going to be. As you can see behind me, we're at this village which seems to be completely decimated. I'm not entirely sure what's happened, but as you can see here, some of the buildings are just completely missing the walls and the floor. And over here we're missing the floor as well. I also haven't seen any villagers about. The only sort of living thing, quote unquote, I seen was a zombie. But there's, yeah, I don't know if this is something's went wrong with the generation of the area, or else one of the other members on the servers came through and sort of done a weird cannibalization of the village. But yeah, my goal for today is to find a villager and take it back to my barn so I can start breeding up the villagers and start working on getting the farm set up. The first one I want to get up and running is an iron farm, so we're definitely going to want to have 2 villagers that can create us some more so we can get that farm going. But yeah, I thought we were onto a winner when I was flying past this one, but I guess we need to keep looking. So I'll see you when we get to a village with some actual inhabitants. So we've actually found ourselves a viable village with some actual villagers, quite a few villagers. There's also a portal spawn here which is quite handy, but thankfully we don't actually need to go through the nether. It's actually easier for us just to chuck the villager in a boat, go down there onto the ice, then hit the ocean, and the ocean will take us all the way there. So also since last time I've added some stuff from Vanilla Tweaks just to make the UI a bit nicer. So just whenever I'm using a shield it's lowered down on the screen, and I've also went with the dark UI. I would prefer a cobalt blue one, but I can't be bothered making it myself, so we'll go with a black one. And I've also installed this mod here that lets me see inside of shulker boxes without actually putting them down, which is very handy. I seen Exuma using this and thought it'd be quite cool, especially showing you guys what I've got in the shulker box as well a lot easier. So I've got my supplies for transporting the villager, some boats, a bunch of rails and stuff like that, just to make life a lot easier. So yeah, I'm gonna ask one of these villagers if they would like to move to a bit of a warmer climate, and I'll see you back at base because this is going to be a long and slow process probably. And there we have it, back home safe and sound with 2 villagers now. So next up what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the villagers breeding, and I'm also going to try and create a little filter system just so I can separate any babies from them, since we're going to be using the babies for the next project. So now that we have our villagers up the stairs, I'm going to start working on our first farm, and the first farm is going to be an iron farm, because in our little science areas that we can see up here, I actually want to use a lot of iron in the design of the floor. So having an iron farm is actually going to help speed things up quite a bit and just make our lives a lot easier. So the design that I'm actually going to be going with for this iron farm was uploaded by a YouTuber called Voltrox, and they've actually created the iron farm underground so that ensures that there's no extra spawning spaces for the iron golems. But I'll leave a link to the video in the description, and you can see a link up in the top right now. So let me get started just by digging a little hole. I think I want to have it line up with these stairs because we're not going to push out any further in this direction. So I'm going to build it going down this way and out that way underground, just so we can have as much space for the rest of our sort of science areas going out in that direction, and maybe even another couple of layers under our main room here. And the iron farm is up and running, so if we come down here I can give you a quick look at how it's set up. So we've got our 3 villagers here, they've got their beds, they've got their workstations. We have our zombie here called Alfred because he's helping us get them scaled and spawning on the iron golems. And up there is where the iron golems go down to burn up into the lava. But yeah, it was definitely the easiest iron farm that I've set up, well, at least in terms of putting a zombie in. So I'll definitely leave a description to the, I'll leave a link in the description to the video, I should say. And there was also a second part with some quick fixes for the setup. I'll leave a link to that in the description as well because I missed that the first time I watched it and I did have some issues with it, so I'll leave them there and that'll be easier for you. and this here is just our iron setup. And I think I've AFK'd for about an hour or two, and I've got all of this. I turned quite a bit of iron into trapdoors because we're going to be using them upstairs, and just got some simple stone brick decoration. But yeah, that's our iron farm setup, and time to move on to the next part. So now that we have our iron farm working away, I want to start working on this first room where the rest of our farms are going to be. As you can see by the two arrows sticking out of my shoulder and leg, not very safe in this room. It's still quite spawnable even though it feels quite lit up. But yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out the walls by another 1 block, and I'm going to replace the layer that we dig out with the materials we'll be using in the walls. I'll be showing that off just shortly. And I also want to dig the floor out so it's on this level, but we will be coming back up to this level here. This is just to make sure there's a nice flat surface that makes it easier for us to put the floor down. And I think I might have showed off in a previous video that there are some mines just under here, some mine shafts, so make sure that's all closed up and no mobs can get up here from there is quite a priority, just to make sure nobody comes up to my farms and blows me up and destroys everything when I'm possibly AFKing at them. But yeah, I'm going to start digging them out, and once the room's dug out, I'll come back for a quick check-in, and we'll start getting the materials put in to finish off the room. We interrupt this program with a special message. So we're just over here at the shopping district, just making a quick stop into Tiakota, because Broken Pixel let me know he was over buying some product. So let's see what he's bought. That is a lot of diamonds, so we've sold a full chest of terracotta just to Broken Pixel, and that is 27 diamonds. Don't want to put that in there. And I just remembered that I have one set up here, so let's see what we're at in terms of diamonds now. There, we can make another block with this. Even better. 32 blocks and 4 raw diamonds. Very, very nice. We probably will end up giving him a lot of those diamonds back because we're going to be setting up the farms, which is going to take a lot of redstone. And him and DJ already have a redstone shop set up, which has a lot of pre-made components, which is very nice just because it helps save a lot of time and doesn't get any more sales. And as well as that, I am running out of fireworks, and again he has a fireworks store over here, right there, so he'll no doubt be seeing some of the diamonds back in the near future. The program will now resume. So as you can see, the room up here has been dug out, and the next stage is to put in the walls and floors, so let's run that little montage. And the room is finished, so I've decided for some reason, even though you've seen a build montage, we're going to do a grand reveal So I've made the stairway down using the same white concrete as in the room, and I've added some lights in here as well. Then we are in our first science room, and this is it. I hope you like the design. Let me know what you think. I've decided to go with a tiled floor using the smooth stone and using these iron trap doors with some hidden lighting underneath just to make sure it's nice and bright and white. And as I was saying just there, we've got white concrete with some cyan concrete just as an accent block, and I went for smooth quartz in the ceiling. So I did mention before that I wanted to go with a sort of combination of a science and western theme. So I've decided to add in these wooden supports like you would see in like a mine shaft, just to bring in that sort of western feel. And I am going to add in some decoration to try and help drive that home. I was wanting to do some more rooms, but I need a lot more iron. It was a lot more expensive for this floor than I thought. And as well for the ceiling, I drastically underestimated how much smooth quartz I actually needed. And this is all the quartz I have left to my name, so yeah, no more today sadly, but what I'm planning on doing, I can share that with you, is either in this wall or this wall here. This is where we're going to put a staircase going down further in that direction. Then what I've decided might be quite cool to do is over in this wall is just to dig out on this same level, just going in that direction. So we have a lot more space up here, just one side decide what's the most valuable farms to have for us. But to finish off this episode, I want to actually just finish off this room, and the farms that I'm going to put in here is along this back wall and possibly curving round this wall if I have enough. I'm going to put in a bamboo farm, and straight on the opposite side here, I'm going to put in a sugarcane farm. And there we have it, the farms are complete, well at least the first two that is. So as you can see over on the left hand side of the room we have our bamboo farms, and over on the right we have our sugarcane farms. And I've also went ahead and added in some more decorations. I've tried to keep it as sort of westerny as I possibly could. There isn't much stuff to add, so I tried my best. Over on this little section I've added in some excess storage, and I've also put some signs with some random experiment numbers on these barrels just to make it a bit more ominous. And I've also seen this design online where we're adding tripwire hooks to the barrels to make it look like the barrels are stored in liquid and you can get it out the tap here. Then for these little barrels I've also added in some names of chemicals and random numbers just to make it sound a little bit more sciencey and legitimate. Then over here we've just got some random decorations, some greenery to lighten up the place, and a little zombie skill to keep with that sort of mad scientist vibe. Then some hay with a sign to let us know that that is in fact hay and nothing else. Some excess wood. Then if we run over here, up in the middle as well, we also added in a little decoration just to make it a bit more exciting. Over here we've just got some books, a little reading and note-taking area. Some more skills up there, a little bit of armour. And over here we've just got a little bit of redstone that we need for the builds. I'll probably need to add something over here to make it a bit more interesting detail wise. And this is just where we're storing all of the blocks that we're using to build up the room at the moment. And a little ender chest and a crafting bench. Then finally I've also marked out where the two doorways are going to go. So this one here is going to start digging all the way down. I probably won't make it as tall, I might make it a bit shorter as it goes. And this is a doorway that we will start punching through over going in that direction, just to give us a bit more space, and we'll start adding in some more farms. But yeah, and I think I missed the buttons and the little montage as well as these fences here. I just done that just to add a little bit more detail to the supports. And that is going to do it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Between now and our next episode on the Halfsun server, I'm definitely going to get to getting some more quartz and some more concrete together, just so we can expand the rooms. The iron has actually been coming in very, very nicely in terms of the count. So I think doing a little bit more AFK and even just working over here, we're definitely going to have a lot of iron for the floor, so we don't need to worry too much about that. And as I mentioned in a previous episode, I want a pass to use Lev's gardening farm, and that's how I managed to get all of the lights. So we're definitely not in short supply of them thanks to him given that away to us, so we're very lucky in that regards, and that's what I've been using in here just to light up the farms, and I will continue to use that because it is free and easy to get for this area. And it also fits in actually quite nicely with the cyan and the white, which was unintentional, so it was. But yeah, as I said, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!